If you've seen any of my American Truck Simulator streams here on YouTube, or the ones that I stream on Twitch, you might see me turn my head, and in-game, the POV turns as well, making it easier for me to see the side mirror instead of using the overlay or looking at the GPS screen on the truck instead of the trip planner. This way, you don't need to have stuff on your screen or use the mouse to look around, increasing the overall immersion. Now, I use head tracking to make this happen, and I'm here to show you how to do it for free. Or, well, close to free. We'll get to that later. Hey, thank you for clicking the video. My name is Jam. We do a lot of technology and gaming content on this channel. So if you like that kind of stuff, make sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and maybe the bell if you want to get notified for new uploads. Also, for live streams, because I do live stream here on YouTube, on Twitch as well, usually at the same time. If you like that kind of stuff, the link is also down below. And with that, let's get started. First of all, I want to address that there are off-the-shelf solutions for this. The Track IR exists for head tracking, and the Tobii exists for eye tracking. These do cost some money, $175 and $279 US respectively. I have not tried either of this, but I can say that they likely have a better user experience than this. And if you have disposable income to make this happen, then by all means go ahead, and it might be time for you to click off the video or stay in anyways in case you want to learn. Let's get started, shall we? You will need to get two pieces of software. You will need AI Track, and you will also need OpenTrack. First, you'll need to get AI Track off GitHub. AI Track is an open source 6 degrees of freedom head tracker for use in games or in simulators. It uses neural networks to estimate the user's head with respect to, and here's where you may incur costs if you don't have one already, a webcam. You will need a separate webcam for this, meaning if you are streaming, you'll need another one for this use case specifically. I'm using an old Microsoft webcam that I got off Best Buy back in the day for $50, and in my experience, you don't necessarily need a lot of resolution for this either. It is best to have a steady frame rate and great lighting to minimize the blur. After all, it needs to see your face clearly to track it. According to the GitHub page, anything that has 30 FPS and 480p or 640 by 480 would be enough to do the job. By the way, the links to all the software will be below, and a link to a webcam recommendation if you want to use one of those. The other piece of software you will need is OpenTrack. This also could be found on GitHub. This would be our middleman between the game and AI Track, and this needs to be installed on the machine that will be running the game on. Oh, I should mention, AI Track does not need to run on the same machine. So if you have a second machine close by, you can definitely use that to send the tracking information over the network, a second PC, a laptop. This way you can offload the processing for AI Track to a different device. In my case though, I've been running both on the same machine and I've had no issues so far, though your mileage may vary. Those are the things that you need to get going. So let's get started with installation, shall we? We're going to use the PC that I stream on, so it will already be installed. However, we're going to go through the installation process one more time for this video for you guys to work with. Head to the first link down in the description and download the Visual C++ for distributable if you don't have that already. If you do already have this, you can skip this, but it doesn't really hurt to reinstall it anyways, so just do that if you would like. Next, move on to the second link and download the latest version of AI Track. Moving on to the third link, make sure to download the latest version of OpenTrack as well, as we will need them both one after the other later. Once you have everything downloaded and you have your Visual C++ installed, go ahead and launch the AI Track installer. Just hit next all the way through, all the way to the end, and do the same thing with OpenTrack. At this point, you gotta make sure that your webcam is installed and connected to Windows. Make sure that Windows can see it by using the Windows 10 camera app or OBS or Discord. You get my point. Now it's time to launch AI Track. Once you have it launched, you will see two buttons, one that says Start Tracking and the other one that says Configuration. For now, we're gonna get started by clicking the Configuration button. When you get in, you'll be asked to select the webcam you would like to use, and this is where you would select the webcam that you have installed, as well as the resolution and frame rate. So you gotta make sure that your webcam have the same features. In other words, if you have a webcam that has 720p and a 30 FPS, you have to make sure that the resolution that is in the settings is 1280 by 720 at 30 FPS. Otherwise, this will not work. And like I said, you don't necessarily need a lot of resolution for this. Anything above 480 will be okay. Once you have that done, to the right, you will see a section for an IP address and a port. For the purposes of this video, you don't need to fill this out as HEADTRACK and OpenTrack are on the same machine. This is how I've been using it every week on my streams. If you are using HEADTRACK on a different machine, this is where you put the IP address and the port of the machine that's running the game. Because all this is going to do is send the tracking information from one machine to the other machine over the network that's running the game. I should also mention that if you're using two different machines, you have to make sure that the port is open on the receiving side. That way, Windows Firewall does not stop this connection right off the bat. After everything is set, hit apply, minimize this for a little bit, and then we're going to switch over to OpenTrack. Time to launch OpenTrack. Once you're inside OpenTrack, you'll be greeted with a lot more things to manage. We'll start from the top and we'll work our way down. Since we are using HEADTRACK, you need to make sure that UDP over network is selected, as this is how they communicate with each other, regardless if you're doing this on a single or a dual PC. On output, make sure it's set to FreeTrack 2.0 enhanced. And finally, under filter, make sure it's set to Accela. And that's it, really. All you need to do now is to hit start tracking within the HEADTRACK window, and then go ahead and hit start on the OpenTrack, and you should see the little octopus on screen move around. There are likely some stuff you're gonna have to tweak within mapping on OpenTrack, such as the inversion of the Z-axis, for example, or Z-axis, for example. As you use head tracking, you'll start fine-tuning your settings on the mapping to make sure the movement is smooth. I will pause here for a little bit, and I'll put the screenshots of what I have on my settings to make sure you have something to work with. Keeping in mind that this is based on the camera that I'm using, my distance to the camera, and the overall preferences. The lighting as well. Finally, it's time for the payoff. Launch American Truck Simulator and start driving, as it should just work if you have HEADTRACK and OpenTrack running at the same time. I would also recommend to map a button to your wheel or your keyboard to turn off head tracking, which will give you back control using your mouse to look, in the case that you want to drive without head tracking, or in my case, having to look away to look at chat while I'm streaming. And that's it. If you've made it this far, thank you very much. Drop an octopus emoji in the comment to prove that you are cool. And I hope you enjoyed this video and you've learned something. If you have any more questions and ideas on more videos, feel free to drop them in the comments as well. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button. There'll be more videos coming out, possibly next week. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.